We are staying on top of breaking news in the Washington, D.C. area. A mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport. The FAA confirming a small commercial American Airlines flight arriving from Wichita, Kansas, was on its descent to the runway when it collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter. The plane falling into the Potomac River. It's not clear exactly where the helicopter wound up, but it's believed to be in the river as well. New video from EarthCam captures the collision. You can see two lights collide with a flash. You can see it right there off in the distance. And right now on the Potomac, a large emergency response. Every agency and department you can think of is responding to this mid-air collision. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem just put out this message on X saying, quote, "We are deploying every available U.S. Coast Guard resource for search and rescue efforts in this horrific incident at DCA, that's Reagan Airport. We are actively monitoring the situation and stand ready to support local responders, praying for the victims and first responders." This is the 11 o'clock news. I'm Sheba Russell. Sources telling our sister station in D.C. there are up to 60 people unaccounted for right now. Again, we want to turn to Fox's Connor Hansen. He has been following this story since it broke just about 2 hours ago. Connor, an incredibly difficult night and so many questions. What have you learned?
Sheba, it's really just shocking to see that footage you mentioned a little bit earlier. It appears to show that passenger plane crash into a military helicopter as it was coming into Reagan Airport just outside D.C. And I can't stress enough how close this is to the United States Capitol, the National Mall, and all of those sites that are so familiar to see. Now, we're waiting for so many details to be confirmed, but we have heard from senators who should be getting these briefings that around 60 people were on that jet and are likely still unaccounted for as the search continues through the Potomac River. Fox has learned that military helicopter had 3 soldiers on board. Those Black Hawk helicopters can actually fit a lot more. We're not sure exactly where the helicopter was coming from right now, though there is a military base right across the river from Reagan. There are several others, of course, in the D.C. area. So that flight was actually coming from Wichita, Kansas, and appeared to be on the approach to Reagan when this collision happened, creating that shocking fireball in the sky. So right now we're just seeing a massive response at Reagan throughout the D.C. area, completely flooded with emergency vehicles. The NTSB will lead this investigation, trying to find out what caused this and how something like this could have happened. This, of course, is also the first day on the job for newly appointed, newly confirmed Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He was literally confirmed today, now facing this major crisis. President Trump also releasing a statement saying he's been fully briefed and will be updating the American people as he can. Still so many more questions than answers here as we watch these boats and emergency vehicles out on the river searching, hoping to find any possible survivors here. Sheba.
Connor, we've been hearing, same as us here, I'm sure you're monitoring all of these reports here, that there may have been some survivors found already. What are you hearing on your end?
We have not been able to confirm that yet, though, of course, we hope that is the case right now. The one potential bright side, and I'll stress potential, is that this plane may have landed right there in the river as, of course, as I mentioned before, this is a densely populated area directly outside Washington, D.C. and its busiest parts. So we're hoping that could be the one bright light here.
And it was close to landing as well. All right, Connor Hansen, thank you for the update there from the Arlington, Washington, D.C. area as we take a live look at all of the emergency responders lined up there along the Potomac responding to this mid-air collision between a military helicopter and a commercial passenger jet. Connor, thank you. And remember, you can follow all of the latest breaking developments on this story online on fox29.com, on the Fox local app, and tomorrow morning on Good Day Philadelphia.